if you increase just your physical activity, so just your caloric output, that alone will not lead to significant or sustainable weight loss. You have to have the addition of either adequate nutrition or resistance training, or both, which is the key.
Ideal. Welcome to Health Decoded, your number one source for real health information, with your hosts, Dr. Alessi and Matt Tack.
Welcome back to another episode of Health Decoded. I'm your host, Dr. Alessi. Today I'm joined by an awesome guest, Dmitri George. We met through a mutual friend and client of ours, and just started talking about the collaboration and kind of the synergy between what we do as far as functional medicine and alternative health, and then on your side, more of the high-level fitness training and nutrition as well. And so today, guys, we're bringing you a really awesome episode. We're going to get into Dimitri's origin story, how he got into what he's doing, how he's working with really high-level executive type clients and getting amazing results, and then the synergy between fitness and health and kind of everything we talk about on the show anyway. So let's get right into it, man. It's great to see you again, brother. We just coming off of Thanksgiving, so health is not everybody's focus right now, but we're gonna dial it in a little bit. So, man, tell me a little bit, and tell everyone a little bit about kind of where you come from, your background, man, how you got into what you're doing, and how that trajectory led you to where you are today.
Yeah, man. Again, guys, welcome. Dmitri, Coach Dmitri. I also go by the Booty God, something you can go look up and find out about.
Love that.
How you got started, man? I first started, I was a U.S. Coast Guard Academy scholar, and in our downtime, that was one of my first bits of exposure to the gym and resistance training. And me being the nerd that I am, I dove right into the books and learned how can I translate all of the technical aspects into something cool that I can communicate to my friends and peers, right?
Yeah.
So that I could be the guy that they come to for this, right? I wanted to be the authority in everything that we were doing that was fun, because this was our only downtime.
Sure.
So that's how I ended up learning a lot about training, from the book at least.
Right.
And then I, started just training friends here and there, and I recognized, okay, I ended up going to University of Tampa and graduated with 2 bachelor's degrees. I have a bachelor's degree in pre-law and another in PR.
Okay.
So I have a huge background in science as well. So I got started there, and that's pretty much how we got started, man. I just started training friends, and left the corporate world. This was like a side gig at the time, and then it just transformed into something more. I took a chance on myself, and here we are.
So it became more of like a passion for you.
Yeah, big time.
That's what it sounds like. Did you have early exposure like sports and fitness as a kid at all? Did you play sports?
Yeah, so for me, I grew up first generation American. My parents are immigrants. Everything for me was definitely academics forward, academics. But my dad was also a huge guy in sports, so I definitely only did track and soccer. Those were my big things. Baseball here and there. So never really was like a sports guy. No, did sports at a high level.
Got it. Yeah. I was a trainer for a while before I went back to chiropractic school, and it was kind of a similar thing for me. My focus was like the business side. I always thought I was going to work in my family's business and just kind of go in that route where I was expected, And then the passion of fitness and health really took over. And so kind of similar, man. That's cool to hear. I love that kind of stuff because I can empathize with it. But, man, tell me a little bit and tell everyone a little bit about kind of, your focus when it comes to training. A lot of trainers, and it's like anything, there's good and bad, right? You go somewhere and you might have a good trainer, you might have a bad trainer, and your approach obviously is different. Tell me a little bit more about it, man, and like what your focus is with people.
Yeah, I mean, my thing with the approach for a lot of things is most people focus on what they want to know or what they want to do. But a lot of times when you have a goal in mind, you need to focus on what not to do. And that, because those are usually the things you struggle with, right?
Sure.
Like if you're trying to diet, you're usually struggling with the things you shouldn't be eating, right? You know what to eat, you know what to do, and you can do it. It's usually you struggle with the things that those types of things. So I usually try to identify those areas of opportunity and like really get like that one-on-one, almost therapy, like, hey, this is what's wrong. Let's identify the problem and kind of, problem solve it out. That's sort of my method. And for a lot of people, that can be nutrition. Some people that can be strength. For some people, it can just be routine.
Mm.
There's a lot of people that look the part and they know everything, but just going is not, they don't have the motivation or the drive to go or,
Yeah.
so that's a bit of what makes me a little different is I try to find that new intrinsic value for you. Cause a lot of people go to the gym for extrinsic reasons.
Yeah.
So
I love that. Yeah. I think the first time we met, you talked about that a little bit, how you really tap into what's driving them, the why, right? Like the purpose of them being there. We do that with our patients too. It's like, cause eventually it becomes mundane. Eventually the routine becomes kind of, I got to go back to the gym, or with us, right? It's like, I got to go for my next appointment. But if you can tap back into why did you start this? So much more powerful. Would you say you have like a specific, I guess, I don't want to say like niche, but, with like within our clinic, we focus on spinal health, but mostly corrective spinal health, not just like kind of crack pop, that kind of stuff. And that came from when I was a trainer, I focused on corrective exercise. So do you have more of like a niche with the type of exercise you do?
Yeah. In regards to the exercise, I'm usually, because I like to be such a one-on-one custom design coach, I like to meet people where they want to go.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say that I limit myself to a certain type of modality. Whatever you want to do, I'm going to be able to lead you in that direction that way. I think that's a misnomer, misconception a lot of trainers have, or a lot of people have of trainers, is that I have expectations of you. If your trainer has expectations of you, that's a little weird. I think the only expectation should be that you come back and you do what it is that you said you wanted to do. I'm just a GPS. Like your GPS actually doesn't, I won't say doesn't care if you get to the destination, but truthfully, you're the one that hits end route, right?
Sure.
And you're the one that hits start route. So you've got to be a part of
you're the one who drives there too, right?
Of the journey, right?
Yeah.
So
that's huge.
That's a big thing, a part of it,
Yeah, no, I mean, we align on that for sure. I always tell my patients, I'm like, hey, everybody's seen like a movie with a hero, and then there's like the little old man or a wizard or something, right? The Miyagi. It's like Miyagi's not the hero of the story. It was Daniel's son, right? And
exactly.
Like, Miyagi's the guide. And so that's what we are, you and myself. Like we're guiding people, but they're the hero of their journey. That's awesome, man. Tell me, okay, so someone comes to see you, or say a patient of mine is, and we're working on something with their lower back or their neck or posture or whatever, and we send them your way, or someone comes to see you organically. What is the first step? Do you do like an assessment, like a movement assessment or a strength assessment?
Yeah. I mean, so typically I, do like an assessment on paper. So the way I'm aware of what's what, and then I can go and assess the things they told me about. So usually I do some sort of a functional assessment, try to check their alignment, check their range of mobility,
Nice.
and ask if they have pain doing any of those movements across all planes, and then kind of go from there. If there are restrictions, limitations, then I will go ahead and create some alternative exercises or focus on enhancing those areas.
Yeah. What do you see as like the most common deficiencies, man? And we can probably go all day on this.
Yeah, a big common one, for one, is going to be posture.
Yeah.
Particularly a lot of women don't train chest, or a lot of men that just kind of, I guess they want to avoid it. Perhaps that's a thing.
Okay.
So, you end up having this weaker chest, so you end up having this, slouched over in the front, and then the traps end up taking over and they come see you.
Yeah. That's
a little more than they need to.
that upper
right?
cross posture for sure.
Lower back is definitely a big one. I mean, humans are never designed to sit for 68 hours a day.
Yeah.
And we do a little more than that sometimes. So
yeah,
there's that,
Yeah, no, totally. And I think that's like the value in, because a lot of what we do is so focused on getting people out of pain and obviously restoring the alignment and the movement and the basic kind of range of motion to the joints. But we harp on exercise. The tough part is that most people, and you know who you are if you're listening to this, most people take the exercise we prescribe them and they don't do. Mm-hmm. And so it's like having accountability, having someone in your corner to be like, yo, this is how you need to do it. Or this is where maybe you're doing it wrong, right? Because if they're following one of our videos or something, maybe they don't feel like they're doing it 100%. And then they're like, I'm just not going to do it. And then they end up kind of quitting on it. And so that can limit results. That can limit obviously outcomes and build sometimes even like more negative of an outcome. I always tell patients, I'm like, hey, if I just adjust your neck, if I just crack release a bunch of stuff, and then you go stare at your phone with your head bent forward, you're actually going to reinforce negative posture, and I'm making you worse now.
Right.
So getting an adjustment or an alignment is one thing, but what you do after is so much more important. You have to focus on, restoring the curvature to the neck or embracing the core and standing up taller. So, heck yeah, man.
It's like kind of like the reel I posted recently. A lot of people are treating their goals as check boxes. What you should be doing is you should be working at least at a sufficient level to meet your goals. Don't just go check a box. Say, I went to the gym. I ate healthy today. Because those are very like ambiguous terms. What is healthy? Did what you eat actually align with the outcome that you want?
Yeah.
Right? Like those are the things we have to consider instead of just, healthy, check.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. We call those box checkers, man. That's me and my business partner, Matt. We always talk about that. Someone who's like, they showed up to the gym, but they sat on their phone the whole time, right? They were on the bench press on their phone for 30 minutes, well, man, when someone's training on their own, right? Because obviously you and I both know the value of working with a professional to get enhanced outcomes. And it's like, if somebody just wants to like go and get some movement and feel better and like just do their thing, they don't need us, right? Like, and I'm so a proponent of that. Like, hey, don't waste your time and money if you can't commit to something more high level. But you work with, and I work with patients who are like, hey, I have this goal and I want to achieve it. What is I guess the one thing or a couple things that people get wrong usually, right? Things that people maybe, have a wrong perception of when they get started on something like this?
Yeah, I'll give it to you straight. Like I give all of my clients, because I'm not someone that's necessarily, I won't say that I'm not motivated financially, but I'm not motivated primarily by, I'm going to take your money and keep going. Right. Because there are lots of trainers like that. They just keep you busy, keep you sweaty and keep it going. Right.
Right.
The truth is, and this has been proven in tons of studies quite a while now, if you increase just your physical activity, so just your caloric output, that alone will not lead to significant or sustainable weight loss. You have to have the addition of either adequate nutrition or resistance training, or both, which is the key.
Ideal.
That's ideal.
For sure.
Generally, you just like, the term I use, you're just getting sweaty.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I don't want to discredit anyone that just goes to the gym and has some movement versus no movement, because that's worse.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the truth is, you need to do what you need to do. Don't just do something to check a box.
That's right. Yeah. And I mean, physical activity and exercise are not the same always, right? Like
Correct.
you taking out the trash and you doing chores around the house or being with your kids and stuff. That's physical activity. You are being physically active and that's good. You're not sitting, but exercising is stressing. I like to say it's stressful on the body, which is a hormetic stress or a positive stress to gain something on the back end, that adaptation. And so that's actually the next kind of thing I wanted to get into is like the cardio myth, right? Of just like, oh, more cardio. And for the listeners, this has been shown in research and proven that the way cardio works, or like daily repetitive cardio, is like this. Okay. And I'm going to use basic numbers just for an example to make it easy for people. But say one day you run a mile, and in that mile, you've burned 100 calories, right? Just for easy numbers. The next day you run a mile, you might burn 99 calories or 98 calories because your body is going to become more efficient at storing calories. And so then if you're in a calorie deficit and you're doing cardio, endless cardio, your body will become more efficient at storing. That's called survival. That's how we made it as a race, as humans this far, because there were times where people didn't have food for weeks. And so their body had to store as many calories as it could. So when you go into starvation mode, which so many people do, they undercalorie themselves, and then so they're not eating enough, and then they're running too much or doing too much cardio. They're not building muscle. The body goes into starvation mode and people become like that, almost like kind of skinny fat, right? Is what we see. They don't look like strong, but they're not fat either. It's kind of it's not healthy either because the organs and things don't have the support that they need. So, you and I are in the same realm of thought that resistance training, meaning putting any type of resistance on the body to build muscle, which builds joint and bone strength as well. And I focus a lot on protein. With your nutritional approach, when you're guiding people, what is kind of the focus?
So for me, the focus is not macros. A
Okay.
lot of people would go, "Oh, wow, what does that mean?" For me, I think a lot of it is about building a habit.
Mm.
For a lot of people, they need to look at this as like, you're not renting a car. This is your body for life,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if you know, hey, I'm not the person that can follow a diet or anything for 100% all the time, right?
Mm.
Which isn't most people, right?
Right. Yeah.
So which is the point of the advice. Take a few days out of the week and say, these are the days that I want to be 100%.
Mm.
And then slowly over the course of a couple months, weeks, you can acclimate and add another day. So I get a lot of my clients and I say, hey, pick three or 4 days out of the week, you're going to be 100%. Because these are for people who are struggling and they want to make forward progress. Is pick 3 or 4 days. So Monday, Thursday, Friday, something like that. And they'll be 100% those days. And the other days they're trying, right? They're not totally letting go of the ball. They're still trying. Um, and then, as the weeks go by, months go by, they acclimate, add another day, add another day, add another day. A year goes by. They're doing it every day.
Yeah.
And it's their new norm. Now
Love that.
there's nothing to go back to.
Yeah, for sure. That's like the habit stacking approach,
Exactly that.
when we have patients doing their cervical orthotic at home, where if they have to lay on a little hard foam pad to restore the neck curve, it's not comfortable. It's not fun. It's kind of boring. But if you stack it with something you do daily, right? People forget. That thing ends up becoming a dust collector, a dog chew toy. But when you pair it with something you do daily, which you're like, hey, every morning I do X, then it's like you don't do X until you've done your cervical orthotic, right? And so vice versa, right? Like habit stacking, then it just becomes something you do. And so, that's huge. We always say it's better to be consistently good than occasionally perfect, right?
Exactly.
Like an 80-20 kind of thing.
Sure.
So, what would you say? I mean, as far as like when it comes to exercise, man, obviously we both prioritize resistance training. What would be like the biggest, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 waste of time things that people are doing that you're like, man, don't even do that. Like, like flip it over and do something else.
Yeah. I'll give you one, and only because I think when you look at it, you'll understand it doesn't make a lot of sense or benefit to you. But it's doing a resistance exercise while doing cardio. So there are people that will do sprints and jump squats. You should do them separately, not at the same time.
Sure. Okay.
Or people do the Stairmaster with kickbacks. That's I don't know what the benefit is. I think a lot of people like, it looks like, oh, this is going to help my glutes,
Right.
but it isn't.
Yeah.
You're doing cardio. The point of the cardio is to send that signal that you want to increase your caloric output. So I don't know. There's quite a bit of those. There's a bunch.
Yeah. It's almost like you're trying to do 2 things at once to like maybe be more efficient, but you're actually being less efficient at both.
Exactly.
That's what I think.
I think it's one of those things where people think more is more or more is better. And it usually isn't. If you just let things compound. They work better that way.
Yeah. You literally just said the next point on my list here. Why more is better is destroying people's joints. That's like a point I had to talk about. But yeah, I mean, that's the other thing is like people are like, oh, if I just do more, right? If I just do more cardio, if I just eat less, if I just, push harder, like, which when we work with high level executives and stuff, that's when you lead into like almost like burnout,
right?
Because your nervous system can literally only handle so much at a time. And so if you're stressed from work, you got a deadline to hit, you got kids at home that are, keeping you awake at night. Now you're like, oh, I got to get to the gym because it's my thing. It's my release. But you're in this like overwhelm phase and your adrenal system's running on like red line. That gym might not be the thing you need that day, right? You might need a day to like go do some sauna breath work, right? Or like go just take a walk right outside in nature, let your body, your nervous system kind of recalibrate. Then the next morning you go and hit it at the gym. And so I think that comes into like people being more in tune with themselves. We see a lot of patients who come in and they don't even know how to pinpoint their pain. Like, I think it's here. And they're so out of tune and awareness with their body.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, man.
For sure.
I mean, why do you think most people burn out? Like when you see that, do you see a lot of that?
I think the burnout is more tied to anxiety than it is to act. People think burnout is just doing a lot, but I think a lot of it is stressing about doing a lot. A lot of the time that people spend in their burnout is actually unproductive.
Yeah.
They're doing nothing. You're just up trying to be busy. It's like trying to correlate busy with productivity, and they're not really the same. Like while I'm a big proponent of of volume, whether it's in training or in work, more isn't always better.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah,
It
for sure.
really isn't, a lot of times I think, even in training, there are people that only train 30 reps. I was speaking to this girl at the gym. She only does sets of 30.
Hmm.
And then I convinced her, so to speak. So I don't convince people. Told her, I said, let's try cut that in half. It's like increase whatever your starting weight is by like about a third. So 30, 40%. And then go to 15. She started having slightly different results. She could recover better.
Yeah.
Don't talk too much about the results, but was recovering better.
Sure.
Wasn't feeling as burnt out.
Yeah.
And it's burnout on all levels. It's burnout mentally, physically, nutrition, everything.
Yeah. Yeah. That input was a little bit too much, perhaps. Yeah. I mean, there's also the concept of like what we and I talk about a lot, and Matt, obviously, the novelty stimulus approach, where it's like if you're doing sets of 12 to 15 repetitions on a weight with the same weight for months and months and months, you're eventually getting less impact from that. It's the same thing we see in our clinic with the spinal decompression. If someone's being stretched, their spine's being stretched at 80 pounds, eventually the body gets used to that and it's less effective. We have to increase that pull. Same concept where, so what I do is I'll do about a month, maybe a month and a half of like heavier strength training where it's like 5 to 8 reps. Then the next month I'll push into more like power where I'm doing like 2-3 reps, but like quick and explosive. Then maybe the next month it's higher repetitions, more of like a hypertrophy, and kind of periodize that a bit.
And that's sort of my mentality and approach when it comes to training and supplementation is let's keep some stuff in the arsenal. Like we don't need to just pull out the big guns right away. Like slowly acclimate, build yourself, get there. And then you can start, throwing in creatine, throwing some more stuff, you know what I mean? Things like that. And then you can actually truly benefit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that, man. And I know you do a lot online too, as far as with obviously on social media. And, we try to, you have to like to be able to educate and obviously spread more positive knowledge. But what's like some of the we could go down a rabbit hole on this, but just prefacing that, we could go forever on this. So what's some of the worst stuff you're seeing on social media these days, if you could think?
Ooh. Some of the worst. I think the misconception. So I'll tell you the things that I've experienced there are actually people. It sounds condescending, but there are actually people who believe what they consume, food, does not affect what they look like. And to me, like I just couldn't understand that. So before I got judgmental, I was like, tell me more. Like, tell me what does that mean? Like, say that again. Put it in more
Any more
words.
detail, right? Right.
Because I don't. Like, how do you think people change? Like, what is it that you think? And people have this misconception that food doesn't affect their body. That's a big one.
Interesting. Okay. You mean like calories in, calories out kind of thing?
Time. Or the type of food, Yeah. People think a lot of foods are equal. Because this bag of chips is 300 calories and my chicken breast and broccoli is 300 calories, that they're equal. And that's certainly not true.
The nutrient status of those foods is kind of what we're talking about, is like, a pound of ground beef is dense with nutrients, B vitamins, iron, right? Like these things that build the body and the tissue and your body needs to function. That same number of calories in a bag of potato chips or even in vegetables, right, is going to have a different nutrient density status. So diversity is obviously huge. Obviously I think people should be eating meat and protein, but vegetables are important as well.
For sure. I'm big on, speaking to my clients in a language that they can speak. If I'm talking to you, we're going to be a bit more technical, more scientific.
Yeah.
If I'm talking to, John, one of my clients, we're going to speak how he speaks so that he can understand what's going on.
Yeah.
So I use a lot of analogies, and one of the best ones is, if you're a Mercedes, your body's a Mercedes.
I knew you were going to go with a car. I don't know why. Yeah.
You can't put 87.
That's right. Yeah.
You've got to put premium.
For sure.
So if you want to be a Mercedes, whatever, right, you've got to start putting in that high quality fuel to get the high quality output.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to keep being.
Yeah. Hey, the car won't run on that. It'll break down over time. I use car analogies daily, man. And it's like the biggest one is the alignment one when people talk about, and especially with like people who are trying to push it and be like more athletic or train hard, your alignment is so crucial, because think of it like this. If you just have a Honda Civic and you just got to get to work, or a Toyota or whatever, right? It's just a standard car and you just got to get to work. The alignment being off is not going to affect you getting to work. You'll get there.
Right.
But now, if you're trying to take a Porsche GT around a hairpin turn and the alignment's off, you could flip the car, right? Or you could burn out or twist out or whatever the term is, because you're trying to push it to a higher level. The alignment's so much more important. So, and then as far as like avoiding injury, so, I think car analogies and humans are just like so hand in hand.
Oh, yeah.
But that kind of goes into the next kind of point I wanted to talk on is like, okay, people been doing something their whole life. We see that all the time. Oh, I've just been, dealing with this forever, or had a car accident, or this is just how I am. And now you're trying to undo some type of pattern, whether it's physical, whether it's nutritional, whether it's internal, mental. What is kind of your approach there, man? I mean, are you just like, I know you kind of say it's not like we overhaul everything. It's like one habit, right? But, how do you help people like to rebuild after years of doing the wrong thing? Right.
Yeah. So I have this quote that I say that practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. Because you can practice something incorrectly for years and think that that's the right way to do it, or the way that you should do it, at least. So how I get people to break out of a negative habit and a more positive habit, rather, is just kind of see how it's misaligned with the outcomes that they want, right? Like, if you're someone that wants a six-pack and you're avoiding cardio,
Enough said.
Enough said. Like, there's a huge step that's not happening that needs to happen. So if I've prescribed you, 45 minutes of cardio, 40 minutes of cardio, and you're struggling with that, you've communicated that. Now we've got to not just give you less, but create a system so that you can get that amount of cardio completed.
That's right.
So that's just my thing, is just creating systems for success, rather than just giving you an expectation and hoping you make it. And if you don't, giving you a lower bar to meet. That's kind of pointless.
Yeah.
You wouldn't change your treatment methods to give a lower outcome for the patient ever. No.
I think, the way we approach it is like, I'm super firm in the way I communicate with people. I'm like, hey, this is what it's going to take to correct the problem you came with and the goals you have to get there. This right here, right? This number of sessions or this approach, right? Now, if you don't want to do that, that's okay. You can do less. You can do a modified version of that, but let's set expectations that you're not going to get the goals that I anticipate. So as long as you're cool with that,
Right.
as long as you're cool with me not solving your problem and you want to come once a month and just kind of pop in when you need, all good. I will be that doctor for you, but let's just be clear. So,
and to be fair, I think a little bit of that is okay. I think sometimes people do have goals that they're unaware of the effort and consistency required to achieve those goals. And maybe that timeline is a bit longer or arduous than you expected, but it's a different timeline than what they thought.
Yeah.
And we have to let you know that, because, I'm not going to tell you, oh yeah, just come 3 times a week, you'll lose 100 pounds.
Yeah.
It won't work.
Some people aren't ready for that level of commitment, right? I say, hey, I need to see you for 6 to 8 months. They say, man, like, I did not expect. They thought maybe a month, right? So then I'm like, hey, start with a month. If you can commit in your brain to a month, let's see what we get done. Just know that on the back end of that month, we're going to probably need more. We'll just have to sit down and have that conversation. More often than not, what happens is they get through a month and they're feeling better and they're like, wow, yeah, I'm ready to go for the next 6 months, right? Like
that's
get
funny. That makes me think of something I just talked with one of my my therapist clients about. I gave her a bit of my philosophy, and she tells me how it's the same in her work as a therapist. And it's pretty much just telling people to like meet themselves where they can meet themselves.
Yeah.
Don't try to be someone you're not.
For sure.
Big time.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like overcommitting too, right? Like if you fully like know inside, you're like, oh, this is stressing me out to commit. Like patients will be like, I want to come 3 days a week to get this solved. But that 3 days a week is a lot on them because they got kids, they got family. I'm like, do 2 a week, do 1 a week, right? Like let's start with what you can actually do, because you're going to overcommit. Then you're going to miss a couple sessions. You're going to feel like you failed and now you're going to quit. Right. And so it's like, versus if you said, oh, I can do 1 a week, and you make 1 a week for 4 months or something, now you've succeeded versus failed. So I agree with that 100%, man. I think a lot of what we're trying to talk about here, the whole like concept, is like the synergistic approach of everything. And so people who listen to the podcast are mostly patients, but there are some non-patient listeners as well, but they understand that it's not just one thing.
Yeah,
right? It's not just fitness. It's not just nutrition. So
You know, you use a good word there, synergy.
Mm.
And I've got a great analogy for synergy because a lot of people think like, okay, well, that's just called being healthy, seeing a chiropractor, going to the gym, eating healthy. It's like, too much, right?
Yeah.
You would never drive a car without your gas gauge to know how much fuel you have to go, what distance you got to go. So
Mm.
that's why you got to follow a nutrition plan in
Sure.
order to be successful.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah. What is it? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right?
Exactly
It's like,
that.
that's, we used to talk about that all the time. People just go into the gym. They're like, I think I'm going to just do like some upper body today, but they don't actually have a structure. You're going to waste so much time. You're going to be looking for what you want to do next. Oh, that one's taken. I'm going to go do this.
And then your mood dictates the end
For sure.
or your limits rather.
Yeah.
You know, because I've done that when in the past when I was starting, somehow I'd end up on these weird numbers with my reps, like 11.
Yeah.
Like instead of 12, because I just didn't want to go further.
Yeah.
You know, if you can push yourself to go there or follow that plan, then you'll make it.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because that's something that they show on research, is that we as humans, we limit ourselves based on preconceived expectations or set. So if you're like, oh, I'm on this machine and I'm going to do 12 reps, you tell yourself 12, you get to 12 and you could physically squeeze out like 3 or 4 more, but you tap out at 12. You didn't hit that positive muscle failure and actually get the best of it. So sometimes I just go in there, I put a weight on the bar or on the dumbbell that I think I can get 12 to 15, and I don't count. I just go. And sometimes I'll squeeze out like 20 if I'm in a good day, I'm juiced up, like whatever.
Yeah. So for me, like I do a lot of mental toughness coaching for a lot of C-suite executives and salespeople.
Yeah. Nice.
And one of their big things is just having those limits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they just think more is more. More is more. And a lot of times you got to structure it out so that you can recover and be able to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you put in 300% effort today and then you can do nothing tomorrow and the next day.
Yeah.
Kind of negative that way.
100%. Yeah. And I feel like I go through that too, man. Like sometimes we're in a heavier season or something and we're pushing, and I know, like, at least I think I'm aware enough to know, I'm like, yo, this week's about to be one of those weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That means this weekend I'm going to pretty much take it easy, or I'm going to chill. I'm going to recover. I'm going to focus on that, versus maybe push it on the weekend too. So, which I think is okay. Like if you're a high performer and you're, trying to accomplish things, you have to have that. But it's when it gets to be too much all the time that negative gains occur. And that's the same with physical fitness as well. Hey, Health Decoded listeners, Dr. Alessi here. Let me ask you a serious question. Are you tired of waiting until something goes wrong to finally see a doctor? At Alessi Functional Health, we take a different approach, the right approach. We believe true healthcare isn't about chasing symptoms. It's about preventing them in the first place. That's why we created the Alessi Total Care Program. This is a functional medicine-based membership that gives you proactive, personalized care year-round. You'll get access to comprehensive blood work and functional testing, custom doctor-grade nutraceuticals, deep discounts on labs, protocols, and follow-ups, as well as 24/7 direct access to your doctor, not just a 10-minute checkup that ends with another prescription. And here's the best part. As a Health Decoded listener, you'll get your first 3 months completely free when you sign up for an annual membership. That's on top of hundreds in savings already built into the program. This is your chance to take responsibility for your health and join a movement that's redefining what primary care should look like. Head on over to alessifunctionalhealth.com, click on our services tab, and go to Total Care. Learn more about this program and claim your exclusive podcast listener offer. Your health is your greatest asset. Let's protect it proactively. Well, man, let's talk a little bit about kind of more on the internal side and the functional medicine side. We focus heavy. I think if we had a niche, it would be like gut health, but that's just because someone comes in with hormone issues, someone comes in with thyroid issues, someone comes in with joint inflammation, body inflammation. It can always be tracked back to the gut. Like I want to say like 99.9% of times, there's something internally that is then manifesting other places. So if we don't address the gut, we could miss the picture. And now we're trying to treat something without getting to the root versus, say we check the gut and everything's fine, then it's like, okay, now on to the next step, which is to balance the hormones or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, and I think you and I discussed a bit about gut health in the past. A lot of people are unaware that the majority of their neurotransmitters live in their gut.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you feel how you feel based on what you eat and if you eat or don't eat. You have that home cooked meal that's loaded with carbs and tryptophan, right?
Yeah.
That turkey, you feel nice and calm and you're just like, ooh, right? And then when you are carb depleted, your brain makes significantly less dopamine and you're what they call hangry.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're starting to correlate what you eat and your nutrition affects your mood and your actions and all those things.
Yeah.
When I wasn't meal prepping as consistently as I should have, I was always a little crabby, a little angry. That's when I started realizing, let's feed the beast.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? I started eating and then, okay, I was in a much better moods and things were feeling better.
And that's when people tend to overeat, right? They maybe missed a meal or they're so busy they didn't eat. They're like just going. And they're like, crap, I haven't had lunch. That blood sugar's low, the dopamine's low. And now you have this almost like addictive approach to food where you're like, ooh, I'm going to grab that whatever that unhealthy Snickers. Mac and cheese. Yeah, Snickers, right? You're not hungry or you're not yourself without it.
And you know what like I mentioned earlier, the point was to get acclimated to your diet and not force so much on yourself. Sure. It's for that exact same reason.
Got it. Yeah. I myself use like a delivered meal plan, and that's just because I'm busy all the time and I'm going. It just takes the stress off me having to go to the grocery store and cook. Like I'm like, I'll just have someone do it for me. So that's a plug to Nutrition Solutions. We're not sponsored by them. I just love that company. So,
and if you're someone that does follow, a pre-prepared meal plan, like yourself, your only job now is to eat it.
Just it.
Right. So if you don't do it, the only person you got to talk to is the person in the mirror.
Right.
You got to do it.
So much done for me. Yeah, that's right. Like if I miss a meal, it's all on me. It's like I didn't, the grocery store was closed or something, right? There's always a chance, but yeah, that's awesome, man. And so, the synergy, kind of getting back to that point, is like we're talking like the combination of obviously physical fitness training, gathering data. So like when you meet with someone, you're gathering data, goals from them, like objective stuff. We're doing blood work. We're getting DEXA scan done. So we're getting data. Like what is your body fat percentage? What is your muscle mass percentage? What is your bone density? What are your cholesterol levels, blood sugar, all of that, plus nutrition, plus hormone therapy, plus stress work and recovery. Like all of this comes together, but that could sound like a lot to someone because they don't know. And so that's where, again, it comes back to like working with a professional, working with someone who not only has done it himself, like look at the guy, he's so jacked, but also has been, look at the results you have with your patients. Like you share those as well, and people are getting awesome results.
Well, one of the ways I get a lot of my clients, particularly executives and women, to understand the synergy and why you need that synergy, how the synergy is beneficial and why you need all the pieces together, is think about skincare and your hair, right? Your skincare routine is cleanse or exfoliate, then tone, moisturize, then retinol, right? You got all of these, and then you got to do your hair, and your hair has stages. It has shampoo, condition, blow dry, curl, whatever, right? There's all these steps for the final outcome.
That's right.
For that. And makeup, same thing. There's all these steps to get you to the final product. And if you miss one of those steps, you're not going to like the outcome.
Yeah.
Right? Like you've got to be on stage for a pageant and you don't have the foundation. You just got the lipstick and the eyeliner. That's a little off.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you need all the pieces together for everything to align.
Yeah.
And so
100%.
You can't pick and choose what you want to do. You got to do it all.
Yeah. And that all comes back to like the synergy approach, man. It's like, and then the enhanced outcome, right? Like exercise, good. Nutrition, good. Exercise plus nutrition, better, right? You're going to get that the summation effect. That's what we do with a lot of our therapies in the office as well. So, what do you think the biggest thing holds someone back from being able to do this on their own? Education?
I think it's the feeling of being lost. One of my taglines used to be no more aimless wandering in the gym, right? Because I see it all the time. I see, and it's everyone. It's not male specific, female specific, or age specific. It's everyone. They'll come to the gym, look at a machine, feel overwhelmed or intimidated, go to the Stairmaster or go to the treadmill.
Yeah.
Walk for 10 minutes, then go do 5 lap pull downs, things that seem easy, the machines that you can look at and go, oh, I know exactly what that does.
Yeah.
The bicep, you know what I mean? And then they just leave.
Yeah.
And it's this constant hamster wheel of, I went to the gym, but when they're alone, they look in the mirror, they know, I didn't go to the gym.
Yeah.
Right. So communicating with people so that they can overcome that right there is sort of one of my things, big time.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's so good. And I think that comes back to like the education, right? Like when I was first a personal trainer in college, I had multiple times where I tried to take someone through like my exercises that I would do and the person turned white. They looked like they're going to pass out. It was like, that was too much for them. And so now knowing what I know, it's like meeting them where they're at, their starting point. And a lot of people, and this is maybe a bit of a reality check for listeners, a lot of people can't handle much, right? They're starting pretty ground zero. Like they maybe never exercised, they have gone to the gym and done some stuff, but like, is it enough to actually consider exercise?
And I think that's more advice, not for the individuals that are going to the gym, but for the coaches and trainers, because, you're setting expectations and you're creating systems for their outcomes, right? So just because you think 30 pounds is really light on a lat pull down, it may actually be beneficial for this person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things like that.
For sure.
But that being said, the girl that's doing 10 pounds hip thrusts, sorry.
Not quite enough.
Not quite enough stimulus
to
give you, the outcome you're looking.
Perfect word, stimulus. You have to use the right, it's the same thing with us, right? The right amount of weight on a decompression, the right nutritional supplements for the right job, right? The right amount of vitamin D to replace, the right amount of hormone therapy to replace. And so if you didn't do the right dose, that's the term, dose or stimulus in exercise, right? You're not going to get the achieved result or the wanted result. So, for listeners, I want to kind of share with you guys what we're building together here is going to be what we call more of like a elite health stack. And so it looks like a synergistic approach with what Dimitri's doing with the physical and the mental coaching, and then what we do on more of the internal side with the testing, the data, and the supplementation and the functional health. And so definitely stay tuned for that. We're still working out like what that looks like, but it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited because I think a big missing piece is that kind of motivational accountability and like push that people have. And quite frankly is not like our thing, like we're on the other side of that. So, man, do you have anything you want to leave people with today? Any advice, and then kind of share with them where they can learn more about you?
Yeah. If you want to do something, if you want to have an outcome that you haven't had before, you have to do something you haven't done before. Right. So a lot of times for me when training new clients, especially new clients, I'll give them what they consider a ridiculous number of reps, for example. Right. And then when they complete it or they experience a little struggle to complete it, but they complete it, they're like, oh, wow. Right. What did I just do? I gave them intrinsic value. I gave them the ability to believe that they can do this and they like the feeling of it.
Yeah.
So now I just attach feelings to that experience, and now they're tied to their outcome a little stronger. So those are the types of things you got to do, and you can't do it on your own. So when you're looking for a trainer, you're looking for a coach, you're looking for a chiro, looking for a functional medical expert, make sure you're finding someone that is proven. Don't just go to the guy with the six-pack or the guy with 100,000 followers, or the most expensive person, because those are not guarantees.
Yeah,
like life doesn't give guarantees, but if you can see one, it usually is. So go somewhere that is proven.
Yeah, for sure. And somewhere where you can align with their values too, right? Like we have our core values on the wall in our office, and hey, if it's not me, that's okay. Like I just want people to get better. So like it doesn't have to be us. Because not everybody vibes with the way I communicate. I'm a little more firm with my patients, and I'm like, hey, this is this. Do you want the result or not? And so I do think that serves people because it's almost like that kind of hard truth, but not everybody wants to be talked to or listen that. So that's okay. Find somewhere where you feel heard, and then where your goals are set and you can be guided. So
yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can find me at theaestheticsupremacy.com. Also the same on Instagram, same on TikTok. My personal, more active page on Instagram is Dmitri_the booty god. That's on Instagram. Come check me out. I specialize in training executives, super moms, as I call you guys, and then, my high level athletes or aspiring athletes.
Nice.
I also do a lot of, lifetime people around the way, usually stay at home moms. Um, I hate saying just stay at home moms. It's more of the partner of those executives,
Mm-hmm.
right? That executive's success and everything is tied to their partner also.
Oh, 100%.
So if I can influence that, I'm adding more synergy to their life too, right?
Totally.
So that's usually a big part for me as well, is, helping that whole family. Right now, I've got a family that I train the husband, the wife's sister,
Mm.
and then I just started consulting with their cousin.
Oh, that's cool.
And I just referred their dad that doesn't speak English to someone who speaks the language they speak.
Yeah.
Like,
Nice.
that's how I work.
Yeah, you're helping people. There is better results when everyone's bought in, right? If a man comes in here and then he brings his wife in here with him, he's going to be more motivated. He's going to get better outcomes, and vice versa. So,
yeah. I sometimes get some moms that they're like, "How can I get a meal plan for my kids?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I love that, because
huge.
It's no longer this just selfish personal experience. It's something your whole family is tied into."
Mm.
And I don't know if you know about moms, but if their kids are involved, they're into it 100%.
100%. That's impact, man, right there. That's impact. That's why. So, all right. That's why this synergy is so great between us, because that's what we focus on, is like, I don't just want someone to get out of pain or someone to get healthier. I want them to get out of pain and healthier so they can have a better life and impact their family to get out of pain and be healthier, right? If they take those lessons home and now they're, I cut gluten out for my kids, or I cut out processed sugar for my husband and my kids. That's amazing, man. Yeah. You just impacted 4 people in one. So
yeah, one of the things I personally hate seeing is, childhood obesity.
Yeah.
And it's because they don't have a choice in the matter.
Yeah, man.
So if you can help them beat that, then boom.
Amazing. Yeah, so you're getting ahead of it. Well, that's awesome, man. I appreciate you coming on. And so just in closing here, whether you're an executive, an entrepreneur, or a parent, right? The ROI, return on investment of your health, is priceless. We all know that. And so whether when training, when nutritionally focusing on your health, getting lab data, you're going to unlock a version of yourself that you didn't know was possible until you take that first step. So if you are interested in learning more about any of our cutting edge functional medicine programs, fitness programs, collaboration, visit alessifunctionalhealth.com, book an introductory appointment with myself, and be sure to include that you heard about us on the podcast. You can get exclusive discounts and a free gift when you show up. As always, if you found value in today's show, please like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear this, someone who could benefit from this message. And if you ever want to get in touch with us, just email us either a question, concern, comment at ask@alessifxhealth.com. Happy to answer that for you. And sometimes we answer those on the show as part of our Q&A sessions. Again, visit alessifxhealth.com. Sign up for the newsletter so you can stay in the know of every podcast, every approach, everything that we're doing new within our clinics. And so thank you again for joining me today on the Health Decoded podcast. I'm Dr. Alessi with Dmitri George, and I'll see you on the next one.
Take care, guys. If you're in Tampa, make sure you come see me, see Dr. Alessi.
Thank you for tuning in to Health Decoded, where we break down the truth about all things health and empower you to take charge of your well-being. If you found value in today's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. For more resources and personalized support, visit us at alessifunctionalhealth.com and sign up for our newsletter. To hear your questions answered live on the show, send them to ask@alessifxhealth.com. That's ask@alessifxhealth.com. Until next time, stay curious, stay empowered, and remember, your health is in your hands.